Hello there. Welcome again to Practical Research 1, Writing of Scope and Delimitations. I am Dr. Annabeth Lopez. And to start with, again, our expectations in our class. Find your comfortable place to watch, listen, and understand this lesson. Get ready with your notebook, and then please submit your answers through your Practical Research notebook. Then our goal is to indicate the scope and delimitation of the research. So you need to remember that scope and delimitation is the blueprint of your research. It needs to be synchronized with the research gap you have established in the introduction and has to be paralleled with the research objectives and questions you have formulated. Later, in your methodology, it has to be harmonized with the processes you will be declaring. In writing this, you just need to be precise and logical, meaning to say you need to justify the information you will include on your scope and delimitation. Write A if the underlined word is population, B for the research local, C for specific duration, D for research method, E for protocols followed, or F for data gathering and procedure, G for instrument, H for research objective, I for sampling method, and J for data analysis. Write your answer on your notebook. 15 grade 11 students. Is that A, population, B, a research local, C for specific duration, D for research method, E for protocols followed, F for data gathering procedure, G for instrument, or H for research objective, and I for sampling method, last J for data analysis. Next, number 2 is thematic network analysis. Number 3, focus group discussion. Number 4, Facebook video conferencing. And number 5, bataan. The misadventures of Bok and Nonoy. I don't know how to do it. Don't worry, the genius Nonoy is here. He will solve your problem. And then he writes, writing is easy. You are my hero, Nonoy. Are you afraid to take your pen and to start making your scope and delimitation? It is natural. Why? First of all, it is difficult to write anything without knowing what you are going to write. Second, it is challenging to write if you do not have any strategies on making it. Lastly, you feel incompetent to write because you don't have any model from the previous lesson. You have learned the conceptual aspect of scope and delimitations as part of research. Now you will learn how to write this part in a ladderized manner. Writing scope and delimitation does not require you extraordinary skills in writing. You just need to have a clear picture on how you're going to do your research. Most probably, if you happen to read other researches, you would notice they have different ways of formulating it. Some begin with the methods of research and end with the instrument. Others start with research local and end with the declaration of the protocols followed. However, one thing is common among them: their content are the same. Therefore, this implies that there is no prescribed way of making it. As long as the necessary elements are declared and briefly discussed, that is already a good scope and delimitation. It is because this part of research intends to inform the readers about the parameter of your research. Commonly, scope and delimitations is written in 3 paragraphs. The first paragraph contains methods, research design, research local, time duration, population, sampling, and class size. The second paragraph includes the instrument used, validation, and protocols followed in the conduct of the study. The last paragraph is the declaration of data gathering and analysis. It is important that you need to provide proper justifications of the elements you will be using. It is done through the wisdom of the experts or citation. Before writing the first paragraph, it is advised that you must perform brainstorming of what you are going to write. Brainstorming is just simply writing down what comes to your mind. But this time, let us perform brainstorming by answering some question. For example, you are conducting a research about the live experience about verbal bullying of the persons with disabilities or PWD, grade 11 students in a province. How are you going to make the scope and the limitation? Now, let us begin with the first paragraph. Remember that the first paragraph contains methods, research design, research locale, time duration, population, sampling, and class size. What are the objectives of the study? What is the objectives of the study? What research design? How they will be chosen? This is under first paragraph. What are the objectives of the study? What research design? And where is the research locale? And then for the qualitative research as methods of research, here are the following that should be in your paragraph. How they will be chosen, when it is conducted, what is the topic or variables involved, who are involved, and who will participate. So this figure answers the first figure. Um, investigates For the first paragraph, it investigates and determines the experiences of the PWD students about verbal bullying, and then phenomenology, and then in a province. For the qualitative research as methods of research, these are the answers. Snowball method, SY 2020 to 2021, then what senior high school students, then 5 grade 11 students. What is the topic or variables involved? These are the answers that you need to know before writing your scope and delimitation. The information would give you a clear picture of what you're going to write. So if you're going to write the information gathered, the first paragraph of the scope and delimitation will be like this. This qualitative research aims to explore on the live experiences of the PWD grade 11 students about bullying. According to MacLeod 2019, this kind of research deals with the description, interpretation of a phenomena based from how this became meaningful to a person or group of people. As a phenomenal as a phenomenological study, it determines the coping mechanism of the said students on their distinct experience about verbal bullying. This is defined by, and they are selected using snowball method by Peyton 2001. Defined this sampling as referral sampling, wherein it uses a small pool of initial informants to nominate other participants of the study. So this is how you're going to write your first paragraph for scope and delimitation. Next is, did you notice how terms give justifications? The underlined sentences serve as your scope and delimitation. They limit down the scope of the study. On the second paragraph, you need to remember that it contains instruments used, validation, and protocols followed in the conduct of the study. Consider this third figure. On the second paragraph, what is the instrument, how the instrument was created, how it was validated, what are the protocols followed, and how can you describe instrument? Now look at the fourth figure. This is the answer for the second paragraph. You may write researcher and interview guide, group of experts using validation matrix, ethical standards in the conduct of the study, questions about their experience, and researcher made based from the research objectives. So the fourth figure answers the third figure. If you're going to write the information gathered, the second part of the scope and delimitation will be, in this qualitative research, the researcher serves as the main instrument of the study, by Pezzala, Pettigrew, and Miller Day 2020. Another tool is the interview guide. This unstructured interview guide is a researcher-made instrument based from the objectives of the study. It is composed of 5 questions. Objectively, interview questions are formulated to gather necessary information about the participants' live experience as well as their coping mechanism. It is validated by group of experts using validation matrix to identify its appropriateness of the questions and suitability to the research participants. Prescribed standard and necessary protocols are religiously complied to ethically follow the norms of conducting research. So, on the last paragraph, you need to remember that it contains the declaration of data gathering and analysis. So consider this fifth figure. figure. How data are gathered, how gathered data are secured, how data are analyzed, how interview will be conducted, and who provided the data. That would be the how you will write in your third paragraph. That's the outline. I mean, that's the following questions that will guide you to write your third paragraph. So here are the answers for the fifth figure. Okay. Individualized interview or focus group discussion. It will be recorded but with anonymity. Thematic network analysis, Zoom app or Facebook video conferencing, and then participants. Now let us write the information on the sixth figure. So how are you going to write this? In gathering data, individualized and focus group discussion is employed depending on the preference of the participants. Because of the impossibility of personalized interview, this will be carried through social media platforms, either through Zoom app or Facebook video conferencing. According to Eisenbach 2019, these platforms provided opportunities in conducting qualitative research. Likewise, because of its mass usage, it provides a potential options for this kind of study. Interviews are recorded and transcribed in verbatim. Translations into English is accomplished through the help of an expert. So anonymity of participants is secured likewise with the information they will provide. In analyzing the data, thematic network analysis is employed. It is explained as a web-like illustrations that summarizes themes. Sterling 2001. Particularly, this study seeks to identify the salient themes through coding. This is to facilitate structuring and depiction of the themes into an emerging main theme. Let us put together what we have created. However, I'll be using future tense for you to have pattern for your future thesis proposal. So, mga anak, this will be the pattern for your future thesis proposal. So, the title, Live Experience, PWD Grade 11 Students About Verbal Bullying in a Province. This qualitative research aims to explore on the live experiences of the PWD grade 11 students about bullying. According to Macleod 2019, this kind of research deals with the description and interpretation of a phenomena based from how this became meaningful to a person or group of people. This research will consider all senior high school students of a province during the school year 2020-2021. They will be selected using snowball method. In this qualitative research, the researcher will serve as the main instrument of the study by Pezzala, Pettigrew, and Miller Day 2012. Another tool will be the interview guide. This unstructured interview guide is a researcher-made instrument based from the objectives of the study. It is composed of 5 questions. Objectively, interview questions are formulated to gather necessary information about the participants' life experience as well as their coping mechanism. It is validated by group of experts using validation matrix. In gathering data, individualized or focus group discussions are employed depending on the preference of the participants. Because of the impossibility of personalized interview, this will be carried through social media platforms, either through Zoom, app, or Facebook video conferencing. So, in 2 to 3 sentences, write the first paragraph of the scope and delimitation using the information below. Write your composition on your notebook, qualitative research criterion sampling ethnography of 5 students in Kinaragan, Duale, Limay, and Aita students. So, these are the write your composition on your notebook. A qualitative research with criterion sampling with ethnography with 5 students at Kinaragan and at Duale, Limay with Aita students. So write your scope and delimitation. So if you answered it with completely organized using all the information listed, that's 5 points. And if your grammar does not have any grammatical error, it's 5. It's 4 if the content is substantially organized using 4 to 5 of the information listed. If your grammar has 1 to 3 grammatical errors, that's 4 points. If your composition is somehow organized using 2 to 3 of the information listed, that's 3 points. If your grammar has 4 to 5 grammatical errors, that's 3 points. If your composition is partially organized using only one of the information listed, that's 2 points. And if your grammatical error is 6 to 7, that's 2 points. If the composition contains no information, that's 1 point. And the composition has more than 8 grammatical errors, that's 1 point also. Thank you for listening and watching. Submit your output by your notebook in practical research and prepare for our short quiz. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.